This is an independent unbiased review of the Vitopod electric propagator. This is not a paid promotion or has not been gifted at all. I purchased this from Greenhouse Sensation in March 2019. Most of you know that I grow my seedlings and start them off in a heated sandbox with soil warming cables. However, during the early part of the year, a fellow gardener had got the small version of the Vitopod for sale. I purchased this and I must say I was very impressed with it. So much that I went ahead and bought the large one. I didn't bother unboxing it at the time because the sandbox was well underway and it was full of plants. But now's come the time to put this one in action. So looking at it, there's 3 large cardboard boxes. I assume that the big one is the base and the other 2 are going to contain the sides and the lids. So let's get unboxing. This is the first one of the boxes. These are obviously the sides, well protected in bubble wrap, and those are the nylon nuts, washers and screws. It's very well wrapped and protected, and nice to see the bubble wrap between the 2 sides again, stop them getting damaged. Second box. Very careful when you run a knife along here because you never know what's underneath. Yeah, these are that's the 2 lids, and these are the rest of the sides for the build. I'm going to keep the lids over this edge until the build's been done because they'll be required last. Okay, so we have the sides all unpacked now. This will build 2 layers, so in effect it's 2 rectangular shapes. 3 different shapes of plastic. You've got the sides there with the vents in. We've got a set there of 4, which is the shorter one, and the set there of 4, which is a longer one. And to go with that, online, Vitopod actually have got the fairly well detailed set of instructions, which are easy to follow. Anyway, let's get building. It's worth mentioning at this stage that during the build I did a dry run, putting the sides together just to make sure everything lined up and that. And it was then I noticed that 2 of the plastic runners had actually got cracks and the chunk had actually come out. So it wasn't going to affect the build, but I thought I'd notify Greenhouse Sensation anyway, just to let them know. Now bear in mind it was 10 months since I purchased this, and I'm just ready to build it. Anyway, I put this email together, added a few photographs, and within 10-15 minutes I got an email back apologising what had happened, and the only question they asked was it the long or short plain side. As soon as I sent the reply back, I got another email back almost instantly saying that 2 new panels was going to be sent out in the post. Now, that's first class customer service from Greenhouse Sensations. Well done, guys. So back onto the build. I've just put an upside down gravel tray here to try and give a bit of contrast because it is difficult to film with the perspex. Anyway, so back to the instructions. It says bolt the 2 unvented sides and make sure that the up arrows are pointing up and the Greenhouse Sensation stamp is also upright. So them 2 are there together. And now we go for the nylon nuts and bolts. You will notice that the nylon bolts have actually got screwdriver slots in. Just be careful when you nip these up. You just want enough pressure there to hold the 2 pieces together. So that's the 2 sides there, together with the vented end on. At this stage, well worth just checking that you've got a little lip on the inner edge there, which goes all the way around, and that's ready to receive the lid. So with this 1L section done, we've got to repeat the same again and join the two together to complete for the first frame. Not quite sure how this will show up, but worth mentioning, when you fit in the end piece, if you look there, there's a little slot there, and the long length has got like a tongue which actually fits in there, and it lines them up perfect. And there we have it, the first layer built. I've got another one of these to build because it's a double height one, but first impressions, especially something that length, still quite sturdy it is. So let's crack on. In order to utilise a bit of space, I've decided to unbox the base unit first before building the second layer. So this is the base, straight out of the box. Nice decent size. I did notice one thing on the end there, where the power cable comes out. There's a couple of little angled recesses. I'm not 100% sure what they are for yet. I'll look a bit deeper into the instructions, see if we can find out. And also, not exactly sure of the capacity of this. Again, I'll put that on the screen of what the capacity of the base unit is. So that's the unit finished, guys. 2 layers with the 2 lids on. So with all the unit built now, it's time to sort this boy out. The clever bar, the brains, and this is the thermostat. First impression, it looks quite complicated with these wires coming out, but reading the instructions, it's quite simple. So first there's a lead comes out to the base of the propagator with a 3-pin UK plug on, and that then fits into this female plug. Turn it the right way around, plug straight in. Then the other end there's another UK plug which goes in, and that will plug into the mains. We'll switch that on and we'll have a look then at the thermostat itself. Looking at the thermostat, the window contains 2 sets of digits, the top one being the actual temperature and the lower one is the target temperature for the propagator. To program it, first of all you need to press the green button and then use the plus and minus button to select the desired temperature, and that operates between a range of 5 and 30 degrees centigrade. Once you've selected the desired temperature, press the button again and that sets the temperature. While the Vitopod is heating up, a blue symbol will appear alongside the lower temperature reading. Once the desired temperature has been reached, the blue symbol will disappear. After 3 minutes of inactivity, the display will dim, and all this is to do is prolong the life of the thermostat. To light the display up, simply press the plus or minus button once. One thing I forgot to mention about the thermostat is in the instructions it mentions that it has a 12-degree lift, and I wasn't quite sure what it meant until I read a bit further. And the way it works is if your greenhouse is at freezing 0 degrees, the best you can hope for to raise the temperature in the propagator is 12 degrees. So you can keep it on all day, although it'll work up to a temperature cutoff of 30 degrees. The best you can do is rise the natural ambient temperature by 12 degrees. So that's what it means, got a 12-degree lift. The other thing you'll mention is fixing. If you look on the demo, well, that'll show on the back of the, what's it there? There is a actual way you can hook that onto a screw head or something, or even put a bit of cord, cable tie and hook it on. Well worth doing that just to protect the thermostat. And one final thing, these are sealed units, you cannot repair them yourself. If you do get a fault on them, send them back to Greenhouse Sensation. They'll either repair it if they can or sell a new one. So that's it, all set up. One thing I will mention about this temperature probe. Now, when I've used these in the past, what I've done, I've actually put these into a pot of soil, which is in the propagator. But reading the instructions, they actually say to pop it through the top of a vent, which will just go through here. And they recommend at least 1 inch from the side of the propagator and half an inch off the floor. Initially there's a hole in the side of the couple of the panels which I thought was to feed the probe through, but it doesn't actually fit. What I may do yet, I'm not sure, I may burn a hole in the top of the lid just a bit bigger than the probe, then put a cable tie around the wire here which I can slide up and down, and that will adjust the depth. I'll see how it goes, but I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do that yet. So overall impressions after using this one, I'm very impressed with it. The initial thing I can see straight away, you're letting more lighting than the sandbox, but the big bonus for me is that it's a modular system, so I can start off in the smaller one, move on to the big one, and then if it gets bigger you can actually buy these layers separately, so you can increase it as you go along. But looking at the two now, we've got the double one here, the single one here. If I just remove the lid off there, just pop it on here, and I'll get my single unit, I can actually lift that off, lift it off, and just pop straight on there, and straight away we've increased the height of the propagator. This is a truly modular system, so I'm really looking forward to see how this goes. So that's about it for me. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention, being electric, be very careful if you're using it outside especially. My greenhouse has got a cable, armoured cable, back to the consumer unit, and it works on a trip switch, so there's all switches in there will trip any faults. Thing to do with outside units, anything electrical, is look for a thing called an IP rating, ingress protection. One measures its resistance to impact, and the other one is a water resistant. It's usually a number like 56 IP 56. With this one it was an X2, which I wasn't familiar with. However, reading on it, it refers to it can accept certain amount of water at an angle of 15 degrees for X2, so that's fully protected. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I look forward to seeing it during the season.